better run, sis. You better run, sis. You better run. Hi, y'all. It's Chaz, and welcome back to the Redefining Podcast. And we have made it to day 3 of 10 days of redefining ourselves. Y'all, today, we talk about toxic relationships. And that's why I say you better run, sis. You better run, okay? Oh, y'all, okay, y'all. Listen. Woo! Let me get the jitters out. Hold on one second. Okay, I gotta breathe through this one, y'all, because, baby, I was contemplating even talking about this, but we gonna just talk about it. We got 8 minutes and 10 days, so let's jump right into it. Toxic relationships. I kind of had to go to Google for this one because toxic relationships can look different, and I'll talk later what mine looked like my experience with my very, first really, really bad toxic relationship. But per Google, a toxic relationship is when behaviors are the result of the lack of empathy being present. So, empathy means to put yourself in someone else's shoes, right? To understand their feelings and their thoughts. So if that ain't happening, Google says that the relationship is toxic. And as I read this, I'm like, okay, I can kind of see it just a little bit. So yes, some of the signs that you are in a toxic relationship could look like lack of support, bad communication, dishonesty, controlling behaviors, and jealousy, just to name a few. I witnessed all of these in my toxic relationship. Have you? Yeah. So when I personally think of toxic, I think of just it's really, really bad. It's really, really bad. So let's talk about my experience, okay? So some of the things that were very apparent in my past situationship, we're not even going to call it a relationship because, baby, first off, he would not take ownership of the responsibility of his actions. It was always a rebuttal as to what made him do what he did. I did that because, I only said that because, and he never would take ownership of it. It was no, he said sorry. We're going to get into that. But he said sorry to get something else. He said sorry to shut me up most of the time. Very manipulative, okay? I'm not going to let this trigger me. I'm not. But basically, he didn't take ownership, okay? Secondly, the word no was not acceptable to this man. It would start the biggest fights ever. Not ever. Because we wasn't fist fighting. I was not throwing blows. But just the arguments. It would start just really huge arguments. I'm talking about to the point to where he's in the car yelling at me or whatever in my home, wherever we were. And I don't do all that yelling stuff. That's one thing about me. I'm not going to do it. But I did find myself a few times doing that. Just go. Leave me alone. Oh my God. And I'm like, oh yeah, this is bad. This is nasty. And that's because he didn't want to hear no. He wanted everything to be his way, or there wasn't no highway. He's burning the highway down, okay? There's no highway. You know how they say, my way or the highway? Nah, poo. Ain't no highway with him. Next, he was just verbally abusive, and not to where he would call me out of my name, but just verbally abusive in the sense of trying to demean me as a person. I got it going on. I'm popping, okay? Can't nobody tell me nothing different. And I don't say that to people, but I carry myself, and what I do shows that I'm popping, okay? You can talk good about yourself, y'all. But he will always try to say things to demean what I have, who I am. Yeah, you just think you better because you did that. I never said that. I never said that to you. I never said that. So, verbally abusive in the sense of just trying to make me feel really bad about myself. Yeah, we're gonna leave that there. And then, y'all, it was just a nasty cycle of I'm sorry's, and then him doing it over again. This man would get down on his knees, both knees, and cry and beg for forgiveness and tell me he's sorry, and baby, forgive me, and I love you, and let's make it right. And I'm gonna take accountability, y'all. it was hard for me to leave this situation. And I'm still trying to figure out the reasons why it was so hard for me. But I'm going to be honest, it was so hard. So yes, I was forgiving to him when he would do these things. Y'all, we might be a little bit over 8 minutes, but I hope that's fine. Yeah, and then I started to just see him like make excuses for everything that he was doing. I kind of said that earlier, like not taking that responsibility of his own actions. So y'all, basically that's just a little piece of like my experience with my toxic relationship. I want to do a full video on this, talking more about it, but I really want to keep my promise of 8 minutes. So how to get out? This is how I got out of it. I had to just stop making excuses for him and his behaviors, and I had to learn to focus more on myself and just getting my mental back together after going through something as hard as this. Then I had to just find a new way of happiness and a new way of like being whole, and not saying that like he made me whole or he made me happy, but I had to envision like my life without him being a part of my everyday after these months of just toxic relationship. And the moments we did have that were good. So I had to be open to embracing change and like letting that go. And then last thing I would just say, I had to create a more solid support system, or just lean on a support system that was already there. And that just looked like me sharing with them like my experience and allowing myself to just be emotional with them so that they can support me through my process of wanting to let him go. And guess what, y'all? I've let him go. And it's been like 3 months now. I haven't talked to him. He hasn't reached out. He's blocked. But I know that I deserve better, and I'm not going back. I won't ever go back. It's just a trick of the devil. That's all it is. But yeah, so I want to know, you all, do you think a toxic relationship can be fixed? Do you think a toxic relationship can be fixed? If so, tell me how. You know what to do. Connect with me on my Instagram page at _defining Chaz. I'm going to put a little poll questionnaire thingy up, and I would love for you all to comment. And then day 4, I'm going to try to read some of these. So let me know. Do you think a toxic relationship can be fixed? So yeah, toxic, we don't want it. It's not ours, y'all. No toxic relationships in 2021, okay? That's just a little bit I want to share with you all. So much more we can share about toxic relationships, but we keeping this 8 minutes for 10 days. I'm probably a little bit over. But yeah, that's it. I'm going to get ready to sign out, and I'm going to catch you all tomorrow, which is day 4. And I don't have my calendar in front of me, but day 4, I believe we're talking about self-care. Yeah. All right, y'all. So I am Chaz. I love y'all. Thanks for tuning in. I will catch y'all tomorrow. And like I always like to say, do more. Choose the life that you love. Peace.